Yes. To today's Asia Brewers Network Technical Series webinar and question and answer session. This session today is brought to you in partnership with Barth Haas. So today we're going to be talking about LUPOMAX, which is a new product which has come out, I believe it came out last year, and it's a concentrated lupulin pellet. So we're joined by Leonard Paul Pax. He is the brewmaster at the new Barth Haas Beijing campus. As we heard just now, he's busy commissioning this new brewery. So Leonard will be presenting for about 20 minutes, after which we'll have a 25-minute question and answer session for those who are watching live. So if you do have any questions during the presentation or afterwards, please put your questions through the Q&A tab at the bottom of the screen, and we'll pose those to Leonard once he's finished his presentation. So Leonard, welcome to the Asia Brewers Network. I'm going to pass it across to you now to tell us about LUPOMAX.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I'm going to start sharing my screen now. Let me see. So, presentation mode. So you should see the whole presentation now, Charles, isn't it?
Yes, we can see that now.
Okay, so yeah, let's jump in to it. So again, yeah, my name is Leonard Paul Pax. I'm at the moment in Beijing working as a brewmaster, and that's of course, like Charles mentioned before, we are at the commissioning process of the new 5 vessel brewhouse here. But yeah, today I'm not here to talk about the brewery, but yeah, stay tuned for upcoming news, and I would welcome you all up in the upcoming times. So today our topic is LUPOMAX, so a new product from our friend, or from us and from our friends from John I from the US. And first of all, so what is LUPOMAX and why you should use it? I've brought you a short definition for this. So LUPOMAX is enriched hop pellet, ideal for use in late and dry hopping, optimized and hop flavor. It has been expertly enhanced through the Sensory Plus process, which I explain later on in the next slides, to achieve bold and consistent true to type flavors for reliable brewing performance, brew by brew. So, and to be honest, when I first came in touch with LUPOMAX, I was a bit disappointed and not really enthusiastic about this, because yeah, it's just my first thought, okay, it's just enriched pellet again, and I didn't see the benefits from this. But to be honest, then we received the first samples in Nuremberg when I was in Nuremberg last year, and we opened up the bags, and this was quite intensive flavor what came out of the bags. And we did some sensory evaluation, of course, and brewed some batches in our small brewery in Nuremberg, and of course analyzes also. And all the results were very remarkable. And this year we got the next batch and compared, or did the same analysis for sensory and brewing, and the results were nearly the same. So, and at that point I would say convinced that this product is really a fantastic pellet which can produce reliable, true to type flavors from year to year. So on the upcoming slides, I will try my best to convince you too, and hopefully you might give LUPOMAX a chance in your next batches. So again, or let's come to the what is Sensory Plus and why it's so good. I brought you another definition, but I promise this is the one, the last one you need to learn by heart. So all LUPOMAX products are based on a special lot pre-selected by our Barth Haas experts from procurement and brewing solutions. Here we focus on consistency and true to type aroma in both raw hops and the fine product. Further, we also keep an eye on the brewing values to minimize nature impacts. This process is called Sensory Plus and ensure consistent true to type aroma and flavor. And so the reason behind this is, which is widely known and common in the US, that, or like in Australia also, that breweries travel to the, or at the harvest time to the fields, the hop fields, and pick some certain hop lots out of the whole crop, which they find that suits them for their batches best. But not everyone, especially not in the times of the coronavirus, got the chance to travel to US or Australia. So with this Sensory Plus technology, we ensure that you obtain a consistent flavor from variety from year to year. And again, you obtain a true to type flavor from year to year also. So it's very, very impressive what the guys from the procurement and brewing solutions team are aware of and can do. So the next slide is where to dose. As mentioned already before, LUPOMAX pellets are suited best for whirlpool and dry hop editions because of their got a high flavor impact. Of course, you can use them in a brew kettle, but yeah, you all should or probably know if you dose, I would say, this flavor input full hops right that early in the brewing process in the brew kettle, you evaporate a lot of the aroma compounds out, and it would be not the aim target for. I also brought you some numbers which I would like to go through just short because they're important for the next slide, which I like to show you. So for the whirlpool, you can have about, so if you got a well-working process, the whirlpool, you can have or will see 8% losses per kilo T90, and the maximum capacity for a normal working whirlpool is about 500 grams per hectoliter. So the troop is not that big, so you can get enough or a lot of the, or a certain amount of clear wort of your whirlpool. And for dry hopping, with T90 pellets, when you're using 1 kilo, you will have losses about up to 12%. And for LUPOMAX, we recommend, or we say that you can replace up to 50% weight per weight of the 290 pellets by using LUPOMAX. And what this can or actually means in numbers, I would like to show you on the next slide. So how to save real money while dry hopping. So I will give you a short overview for an example, and please don't nail me down to the numbers. They're based on trials we did, and of course they differ from each brewery, from each applied equipment, but I would like to show you these numbers because then you will see what the figures, what you lost or which possible losses can occur while dropping. So assuming you got a 100 hectoliter fermentation tank and you dry hop with a dosing rate of about 6 grams per liter with regular T90 pellets. That sums up to 60 kilos, of course. And thinking of the slide before, you can will have about, you can absorb about up to 12%, and let's say assumed 10%, so it can absorb up to 600 liters. And applying the replacement rate of 50%, you only need 30 kilos of LUPOMAX. And of course, these 30 kilos of LUPOMAX absorb some beer too, but of course, you're just building in much less compared to the T90 pellets. You only will see about 300 liters of losses. So in total, which is just an easy and quick math thing is you can sell 300 liters more beer, or otherwise you can increase your output for the batch by nearly 3%, which is quite astonishing because it's just replacing one product by another and resulting or having that much more beer just to sell. It's from my point of view very point of thing to keep in mind for using different kinds of hop products in your process to increase your yields, because it's just an easy way to sell more beer and increase your output. And of course, on the other hand, we have some storage savings. Of course, the 60 kilo foils, 60 kilo pellets would be sum up to 12 times 5 kilo foils. And of course, it's like the half. You only need 6 times 5 kilo foils of the LUPOMAX for the same amount. And of course, it's just 6 less foils to ship, store, and handle, which makes it pretty easy, or more easy for everyone, like for us, the supplier, for you, the brewery, and yeah, it's also good for the environment, of course, because everyone needs to ship less. So far for the beer losses, so I would like to give you an overview over the total benefits from LUPOMAX. So I would, of course, like to skip the first 2 points because I nearly spoke about them before. For the cold and aroma preserved processing, we apply cooling down the pellets or the hop cones with CO2, which is just a common practice for all kind of rich pellets, like for over 40 years or 50 years, if I'm right, dated back to an idea from a Franconian brewer from Germany who did about this. It was quite nice. Again, you need less hop material to ship and to store, which also costs you less because you, especially in, I would say in Asia, you need or the cooling areas are not limited, but yeah, more important. So of course, again, it's good for the environment to ship less on store less. Next one is the handling costs in the brewery. As mentioned before, if you apply the 50% replacement rate, you only need to carry half of the pallets to the tanks, put them in nets if you're applying hop bags, nets, and all these signs. So it's just a reduction in the whole process, which makes it easier for your brewers. So the next step, of course, is that if you're dosing less hops into the dry hopping, you add less green materials, so less fermentable or additional fermentable sugars, and also less possible impact of enzymes. So you will not have that much hop creep phenomenon compared to regular T90 pellets. Of course, depends on your dosing rates. Softer pellets seems to be not a major part in the first place, but if you get a centrifuge in your brewery, the leaf material can sometimes cut into your material if it's not working in a proper way. And this, of course, makes it more harder or difficult to ensure a sufficient cleaning process of your devices. Of course, on the other hand, softer pellets dissolve sooner in the beer tank, and this is a way how you can increase the extraction rate. For like the static dry hopping, you can cut the time for the extraction time a lot. And last but not least, about the benefits, you're dosing less green material in, so you result in less IBU drops, because less green material just equals with less material which can sorb up the iso acids out of your wet. So you will not have that huge or possibly huge change in your bitterness or perceived bitterness if you do apply with the LUPOMAX pellets. All right, let's jump over to the available varieties. So John I just started with Citra, Mosaic, and Saaz, and now extended to available varieties for more than over 10, which is very impressive. And they got really nice varieties, like, of course, Citra, Mosaic, Saaz, Kashmir, Amarillo, and yeah, all these I would say common hops for you or craft breweries around the world. And last year we started with 4 varieties from Europe, with Ariana, Callista, Huell Melon, and the classic noble hop Saaz. And more hops are coming this year. And if you got any variety you would like to see as a LUPOMAX variety, please let me know, and I will forward this information to my colleagues from the brewing solution teams and the Persian department, and then we can have a discussion about if it's possible to get this variety into a LUPOMAX variety. And yeah, I would like to give you a closer look into the European varieties. Like the first one is the Ariana. Ariana is a red between a classic German variety Hercules and a male hop. And as you can see, we enriched the alpha acid content to about nearly 20%, and the total oil content sums up to about 3.2 milliliters per 100 grams. And with this impressive figures, from my point of view, this and of course very unique for a European variety, it can certainly keep up this with this partners from or comparable varieties from the US. And it suits itself very nice into New England IPAs, and I would say also with the citrusy and berry with the citrusy notes into like West Coast IPAs. On the other hand, or on the other side of the slide, you can see the Callista, another result of the fantastic work from the breeding program from Huell in Germany. Both parents are varieties from or are German varieties. And as you can see, it's got a huge or a nice peak for sweet fruit, which makes it very suitable for wheat beer to lend this beer style a lovely fruity touch. But also because it's got a nice peak for the citrusy flavor and some green fruits and a minor or a bit less, I would say, berries and currant. It also makes a perfect partner for IPAs. And yeah, the oil content and the alpha acid contents are nice or very suitable for a dry hop application or just for the whirlpool. Just this water. So let's move on to the Huell Melon. It's another product or outcome from the Huell Brewing Company is Huell Melon again. It's a daughter from the well-known variety Cascade, which I would say was the start of the craft beer movement. And it's got some, as its name mentioned or indicates, some lovely flavors for melon and red berries like strawberries. And from my point of view, it's the reason why it fits very nice or perfectly into Belgian beer styles like Saison or Blondes. And yeah, last but not least, so for now it's the last variety, but of course we will release some new variety this year. Is the well-known or worldwide known variety, known variety Saaz, with this typical woody and grassy and kind of herbal notes. It suits, of course, in any kind of lagers, and especially I would say in Pilsner, which makes it a very nice suitable hop for the late hop edition, like in the whirlpool. And yeah, as you can see in the numbers, the alpha acid is 8.4 and more than 1 milliliter per 100 grams. It's a nice enrichment rate. So, and if you get any further questions so far, I would like to or love to answer them in the Q&A session. And I hope my speaking speech was not that fast, so I'm not rushed all over the slides. So, but that's what it's from my side first.
Well, thank you very much, Leonard, for that look into LUPOMAX. That's it. Great. Thanks very much. For Those who are watching on the recording, we're going to stop our recording now. But for those who are watching live, we're going to now move into our Q&A session on LUPOMAX. So thank you very much for joining us if you are watching on the recording.